Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about surprises and letting yourself be surprised and how much better that can be than sometimes like really grinding and putting in that effort of trying to visualize and manifest exactly what you want, because like we've talked about before, the divine has that aerial view. The divine has that overview, our perspective is very much limited by our, it's called a perspective for a reason. It is not like a perspective is a limited view. I don't know the exact definition of perspective, but that's pretty close. So our perspective is like this. The divine's perspective, the divine doesn't really, I guess, doesn't have a perspective because the divine is not coming from just one aspect. The divine is an all-encompassing energy. So it doesn't have limitations and blinders and the things that we have as humans having, as we are having this human experience. So a lot of times I think that law of attraction is what is kind of like the hook into spirituality. And I think that that's okay because, I actually think it's wonderful because once you're like get that hook, then you're kind of in it and it leads you down different paths, the path that needs to be unfolded for your spiritual journey. So I am not saying anything against law of attraction in the way of manifesting things. I'm not trying to talk shit on that at all. I think that law of attraction is something that we all need to understand. But as far as wanting something very specific, and yes, like you can use the law of attraction to attract that, with your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. You can do that. However, you are that thing that you want to attract is from your very limited point of view. And it may not be as big or as grand as the divine would want for you, or it wouldn't be, maybe it wouldn't be as aligned for you as what the divine would plan for you or want for you. But because of the laws of the universe and because we have free will, we can attract very specific things in your life. So, I know that you can probably come up with examples of this, and maybe even when you weren't trying to use the law of attraction, the law of attraction is always in use. So it's not like you actually even have to try. You have to try to attract specific things. So I'm sure you can think of an instant where you thought of something or you wanted something and you got exactly that. And I'm not trying to talk crap on the law of attraction or say that you shouldn't want to attract something that you want. I'm just saying sometimes in some instances it is, number one, just more fun, and number two, sometimes you can attract something that is more aligned in your life by just letting the universe surprise you. So the universe knows exactly what you want and exactly what you need. And that is why that song exists. You don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. So that is so true. And the divine knows your roadmap, knows not exactly what you have planned for your life, because you can always change your life, and we live in an infinite timeline reality. So, but the divine knows, number one, the soul contracts that you have, and number two, like we've talked about before, like the express train route. So the divine has those things in mind when it's creating for you and when it is bringing things into your life. So through that, we can develop a trust and a faith and really, really, really tune in and tap in to the true amazingness of the divine's creative energy. And you don't have to know specifically what it is that is best for you or what it is that you want. That is something that I have always struggled with. It's like, well, I want this, but I could also be happy having this, and I could adjust to anything, but this I'd prefer, or, there's a couple different, aspects that I like. I find that it's better to maybe just have a few qualities in something that you want. Like, for example, when I was wanting a new car, I kind of knew what I wanted, but I kind of didn't know what I wanted, and I wanted something perfect to come into my life, and all those things. But the one thing that I really had in mind that I really liked and I really wanted was I really wanted a white car with a tan interior. And it could have been an SUV, it could have been a car, it could have been whatever it was, but that was just kind of, whatever. And of course it didn't come into my life at the time that I wanted it to. Yes, of course it took a little bit longer, but that is my human judgment to it. It took longer, and in the divine's eyes, it didn't take longer. It came at the perfect time for me, but I did end up with the perfect car, and I am like so ecstatic with it, and I love it so much. Her name is Ethel, but she is white with a tan interior. And there was a couple things about it that I ended up with that was like worth the wait. Like, for example, I paid cash for it, as before I was looking to take on a car payment. And I am so glad that I did not take on that car payment, because I am now house hunting. And as we all know, that debt counts when you're trying to get a mortgage. So the perfect thing ended up happening, and it was better than expected. And that is because I gave the divine the room and allowed the divine to bring that into my life, as opposed to me just going through it's not a headache, but going through the effort of really visualizing and getting specific and picturing yourself in that car and all these different things that you spend, oh God, hours and hours doing. Because when you want to bring something very specific into your life, the teachers tell you, do it every day, multiple times a day, keep it in the front of your mind, get that feeling into your body, embody that feeling all day. It's like, listen, I'm busy. Like how much, do your affirmations, do your visualization, do your meditation, do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. It's like, hi, we still live on earth. Like, we are spiritual beings, but we still live on earth, and we don't exactly have all this time to be thinking about deciding specifically what you want. Know who you are and know what you want. And it's like, to define is to limit. Let me give the universe a little room to do this for me, because that is what the universe wants anyways. Because the universe doesn't want us carrying any sort of burden that we shouldn't be carrying. And, so say the car hunting thing. The kind of car that comes into your life and the kind of car that you can find is actually out of your control. Now, you can search for a specific car. You can go to car dealerships. That is the action that you can take. However, you cannot control the cars that are on the lot in the car dealership. So, yes, if you're looking for something very specific and you want to just go online and order your brand new Tesla, do you, boo? that's wonderful. But that is not exactly, you're not exactly trying to manifest that. That is just inspired action that you're taking to get that. That's A and B. And I'm talking about manifestation. I'm talking about when you want or need something and you want to bring it into your life, giving the divine the space to create something amazing for you. Because no one knows you better than the divine, you know, like, and no one knows what you want, and no one knows what you're going to need in a year from now. If you're talking about something long term, a car, a house, a partner, things like that. No one knows where you're going to be in a year from now or 2 years from now, but the divine does. Your higher self does. Like, yes, we live on an infinite timeline reality, but in this reality, on this timeline, the divine knows where you're going. The divine knows your soul desire. The divine knows where you could go. And you know, you may think like, oh, the divine thought I was going to go right, but I'm going to go left. He, he, he. Well, the divine knew you were going to do that because it's God, you know, and it just knows. So why don't we remove that burden and have a little bit more fun and allow the universe to surprise us? So let's talk about how we can manifest the thing that is perfect for us by allowing the universe to do it for us. Number one, keeping your vibration high. Talk about this all the time. And it seems like, wow, keeping your vibration as high is important for so many things. Well, yes, it is. It is. Because we can only attract vibrations that we are vibrating at. So if you want the highest, most perfect, most amazing thing, your vibration needs to be matching that level. How do we keep our vibration high? Let's go down the list. Let's remind ourselves. We can nourish our bodies. We can move our bodies. We can give our bodies rest, because remember that our bodies is how we attract things. That is how we function in this world. So by taking care of this vessel, that is how you put out the vibration that you want to attract. So by doing those things, taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, you know, removing the toxic people from your life, removing yourself from situations that you don't enjoy being in, you know, feeding your mind. Let's talk about feeding your mind good things. I know you might kind of like it, but watching those murder shows doesn't do anything for your vibration. It just doesn't. And the more sensitive you become to energy, which as you progress on your spiritual journey, you will become increasingly more sensitive, you will find that those shows affect you. And if you are finding that you are watching TV or watching the news or reading the newspaper or scrolling on Facebook and it doesn't make you feel good, cut it. It's out. You're done, okay? So feed your body good things. Feed your mind good things. Feed your soul good things. Get out into nature. Get your feet on the soil or the beach, whatever you can. Just get your skin on, put your skin of your feet directly onto the earth. Ground yourself, okay? Keep up with your spiritual practices. Find what gives you joy and what brings you joy, and do more of that. And I'm not saying that you have to completely overhaul your life at once, but little by little. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you say, this is keeping my vibration down? Ask yourself. You'll get an answer. And it's like, okay, well, you might say, I'm not spending enough time outside. I'm just going from my house to work and my work to house and inside. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it a point to spend 20 minutes outside every day, 3 times a week, whatever it is. So once you get that first answer, that's the first thing that you want to work on. Next, for keeping your vibration high, is that was about keeping your vibration high. Next, for putting yourself in a position for the divine to surprise you with the most amazing thing is to listen to your intuition and to take inspired action. So as you progress on your spiritual journey, your intuition will become stronger and stronger. And it's not that it actually becomes stronger, you just become better at tuning in. Start to tune in. Start to listen. Start to, even if it says do something wacky, like, no, I mean, I'm obviously not hurting anyone, obviously nothing bad, but I'm just saying that if you're driving home and your intuition says, go down the street, maybe just see what happens, And yeah, so really start to tune in, because remember, our inner guidance is our higher self, is the divine speaking to us, and it is always speaking to us, and it always wants our highest good, and it always is going to lead us down the right path, the path that we most want. It might not look the way you thought it would, but that is okay, because again, this is how you're looking at it. This is how the divine is looking at it. So start to really, really tune into your intuition. And the last way you can really position yourself to have the divine surprise you with something amazing is to just allow. Don't get caught up and wrapped up in the how, the when, the why, the where, the when. Start to get caught up in being and allowing and being in the present moment, because when the divine brings that to you, it is going to happen in the present moment. It's not going to happen in the future. It's not going to happen in the past. It's going to happen in the now. So if you want to enjoy it and want to be able to be present for that, you have to practice being present now. And when you bring yourself into the present moment and you think about this moment right now, not in 5 seconds from now, not 5 seconds ago, right now, you release a lot more resistance than you know, because you are not being concerned with what is going to happen or what has happened. You're only concerned with right now. And that gives yourself, gives your spirit, gives your body the ability to just be. And when you are able to just be and you release that resistance, you allow the divine to bring that magic into your life. So that is our tips for allowing the divine to surprise us and to bring things into our life that are better than we could have ever imagined. And my name is Anne, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you tomorrow.